Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today's episode, the murder of Officer Trevor Slott, Walker Police Dept, Michigan. Folks, our story is all going to center around the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, Officer Slott was 41 years old. He had 16 years of law enforcement experience. He had previously served with the Lowell Police Department and St. Joseph Police Department. That was about 7 years for those two departments. And he'd been with Walker Police Department for 9 years. Now, he had a wife and 2 daughters. It's June 24th, 2011. Two heavily armed men wearing masks and gloves, they bum rushed the chemical bank branch in Moline, Michigan. Now, that bank's kind of out there in the country. Moline's a small town. So they get their money, leave the scene. No employees are hurt. Now, September 12th, 2011. Same two men. They hit the same bank again. Chemical Bank in Moline. Both occasions now they're carrying some type of a military style rifle and a shotgun. Sometimes they're both carrying military style rifles like an AR-15 or M16. Second robbery, the witness, bank employee, someone saw him leaving in a minivan. Now, that minivan was found down the road where it had been left, so obviously they had a secondary car. They ditched the minivan, got into that second vehicle, and left unseen. Alright, it's October 13th, 2011. Now, the FBI has picked up on two guys they think may be the robbery suspects for the two banks there in Moline. In fact, they developed enough information that they've got a tracker on a vehicle that the suspects are driving. They also got a tracker on one of their phones. Now, if they got trackers and whatnot, then the FBI is feeling pretty strong about these two. Don't really know a lot of information because the FBI didn't like to play well with other children. Now, they're tracking those two suspects up into Muskegon County. Now, the town of Ravenna is located within that county. Now, they had driven up there several times into Ravenna specifically. But on this particular day, the FBI is thinking, well, this might be the day. So they call the Muskegon County Sheriff's Department and they say, hey, look, we've been tracking these two guys. We think they're bank robbers. We think they've hit a couple of places south of Grand Rapids. He said these two guys are putzing around in Ravenna. Be sure and call us if you get a bank robbery call. Now, if they've got an agent or agents in cars observing the suspects, or at least staying close enough to monitor the tracker and the activities of the suspects, then you should have real-time information. All right, it's 10:30 that morning. Our two suspects wearing dark masks and gloves, they popped the Choice One Bank on Slocum Road in Ravenna. Now, one's got a M4 assault rifle, which when I look at those, I just think it looks like an AR-15 or an M16, but I don't know weapons all that much. So, second suspect's got a shotgun. So they go in, they order the employees into the office. Very orderly operation. They don't hurt any of the employees. They get two of the employees to open the vault. They get the cash. They also grab the cash from the teller drawers. Now, only one problem with this perfect operation. A customer pulls up to the drive-through window looks in, sees the two armed men, and gets suspicious. So he calls 911. So that's good. We've got a citizen taking care of his business. FBI should have paid him, because evidently the citizen was more on the ball than the FBI agent or agents that were actually out in the field in a car near the bank, supposedly tracking the suspects. So the customer, he actually follows the robbers. Two suspects, they head northbound on Slocum, go up a few miles, and then they switch vehicles again, and then they head back southbound on Slocum. So now the hold-up alarm goes off at the bank. Bank employee calls 911. In Muskegon County, they call the FBI back and they said, "Hey, John, we just had a bank robbery in Ravenna." Now, during that conversation, the FBI agent in Grand Rapids, assuming that's where the call came in, he says, "Yeah, I think we already know that, or I think we know that." Something to that effect, indicating that their agent who's out in the field in the car with the tracker has relayed the information that the bank's being robbed. Incredible. Nice job by the federal government. But at least the FBI did call, because they had police in the area. Now they're able to immediately pick up on the vehicle the suspects are in. It's a dark blue colored Bravado, and it's southbound on Slocum. So now you get the state police. They're in on the chase, Muskegon County. Now they get around Eastonville Street, and the suspects start blasting away at the trooper. And they're still blasting away. But I'll give that Michigan trooper a lot of credit. He stayed right with them. Now they stay on 96, and they go all the way just about as far as Alpine exit. They cut across the median strip, so now they're going to come back westbound on I-96. Now Officer Slotty, as I mentioned, I believe earlier, he just gotten assigned to the courts. You know, he's got 16 years on. He'd like to go out quietly, get his time in down at the court system. I'd say 16 years, he earns that right. Well, anyways, he hears this call, because now this chase along 96, it goes through the town of Walker when it's going eastbound. So he gets in his squad car, leaves court. Evidently it must have been quiet that morning. He's going to go out and help. Now that's a real police officer. In fact, he was talking to his wife on the phone, cell phone, when he's driving out onto the interstate. He says, "Hon, I gotta go." So he hangs up from his wife, and he goes out there to, I believe that's exit 25 when it's coming back westbound. That's the 8th Avenue exit. Parks his squad car. Now I believe that's his squad car that's parked right there where the exit goes off of 96, and then it goes down a hill where you can get to 8th Avenue. And he's going to deploy stop sticks there. It looked like from the crime scene pictures just at the beginning of where the exit starts to drop off. Now the suspects are coming right back at him. And you got to remember, now we're talking about a 100-mile-an-hour chase, and I'm just telling you that speed, it's mind-numbing. Your eyes and your brain can't keep up with that in real time if you're standing down there or you're in that chase. So he gets out there and he's going to start deploying the stop sticks. Now, according to the police, said it appeared that the suspect who was driving intentionally went after Officer Slot, and he hit Officer Slot. And it looks like upon impact and where his body ended up was 50, 100 feet maybe. And I believe it happened right there in that grassy area between the exit and the interstate itself, I think. I didn't have any aerial shots. I'm just guessing by the ground pictures that were taken. Now, evidently, that grassy area, I believe this is where the suspects actually crashed their car. It looked like they did a rollover. It looks like the left front wheel may have dipped right after they struck Officer Slot, and it caused the vehicle to roll over. Again, I'm just guessing from the damage to the suspect vehicle. Now, the two suspects, they get out of the vehicle. I don't know how in the world, because that vehicle's pretty tore up, but I guess they're hyped up. So the two suspects, they're not going to surrender. They're going to duke it out. So you got one Muskegon County deputy who actually ended up being the lieutenant, 3 state troopers, and 4 Ottawa County deputies. So everybody's blasting away at each other. Both suspects are shot and killed by the police. Officer Trevor Parker Slot. End of watch, October 13th, 2011.